it was rough. I mean, it was it was such a shock. I mean, he was like the best of all my friends. He was the guy who was always there for anyone, would always be around, was a class act, hanged out, like hysterical guy. And he was just a better person than most of us. His nickname was Alaska. Like I was his best man at his wedding, and even at the wedding, I referred to him as Alaska. One day I was at class, and I got a phone call from one of my friends. He had collapsed and went to the hospital, and no one knew what was going on. You know, I freaked out, and I called his wife. He was married. She woke up, went downstairs, and she was in the kitchen making breakfast and everything. And he seemed fine. Everything was fine. And then she heard like a noise, a thump, I guess, from upstairs. So she like was curious, so she went back upstairs and found him lying on the floor. She called 911 immediately just because it was weird. And then he started coughing up blood. The paramedics arrived, they took him away and everything, and he ended up, I think he made it a few hours, but he ended up passing away pretty quick. We actually didn't even find out until 10 or 11 weeks after he passed away that, yeah, it was actually H1N1. We were really tight-knit undergrad group. It was like 12 of us that we all met freshman year in the dorm rooms. Like when we all found out, we actually all flew back to Atlanta for the funeral. He always joked around about a Viking funeral, you know, where you like push the boat out in the water and shoot the arrows and it lights on fire, and he's going off to sea on fire in a Viking ship. And so we actually, one of my friends, Pete, actually built like I think it was like a 4-foot by 3-foot replica wooden Viking ship, and we all, you know, took stuff we remembered him by, and lit it on fire in his wife's backyard. Actually, after we lit the ship, we all went out and got smashed drunk, because, you know, the whole thing we said to each other while we were there is like, you know what, Alaska wouldn't want us to, you know, sit there and cry and moan about him being dead. Like, he would want us, now that we're all hanging out, he would be pissed if we were all mourning his death. He would want us to all be pissed drunk. So that's what we did. We all got really drunk, and we ended up talking that night, and all of us, I mean, not that I made the decision when I was drunk, but we all talked about it, and like his wife was talking about getting a tattoo. Every little piece of this thing is about him. It's all a big memorial to him, and it was planned by all of us. The funniest thing about the tattoo was that I didn't even realize when I was getting it, is it actually was incredibly healing for everybody. I mean, it was a 46-hour tattoo, so it was 11 sittings, 11 4.5-hour sittings. It was, you know, really hard to get over. It was just surreal forever. It didn't even feel real, like, for the longest time, and the tattoo really did actually help a lot in the sense of just, you know, a way to, I guess, get your mind off of it to a degree, and like for all of us to just, you know, focus on something neat and fun and you know, remember him. Kind of brought all of our friends back together, and we talk so much more, I think, now than we did before he passed away, just because, you know, kind of realize how fragile life is when something like that happens. It's just so out of left field and so random. Just like knocks you on your ass and you don't even expect it to come. So kind of brought us all back together in the worst possible reason, but I'm sure, you know, he's glad it did in the long run, I guess. So